All right, good afternoon, everyone. It is Sunday, October 30th. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin. I'm joined with my co-host here, Big Marcel. It is the MMAOB Daily Podcast. Hope you guys are doing well. Appreciate you guys tuning in on a Sunday. Just for this week and next week, Marcel, and then back to normal after that. Actually, no, it'd be a couple of weeks now because I'm going on vacation next week. But anyways, so we got this podcast today, guys, and then we'll be back next Sunday at the same time, just to get that out of the way.
No,
Marcel,
not
how's
the
everything,
same
man?
time. Yeah, all good, but not the same time next week. I told you I can do next week, but not the same time.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, for sure. We'll tell you guys the time. I'll tweet it
yeah,
out. We're gonna figure that out this week.
for sure.
Anyways,
All good, all good. I mean, we had a lot of fighting this weekend. We had the UFC, we had Bellator. There was like a local event over here with Rico Verhoeven, when a kickboxer's own event, which I don't really care about, but whatever.
right
Yeah, lots of stuff, and yeah, looking forward to talk with you about it. Obviously, a lot about UFC, and we had that Anderson Silva Jake Paul boxing fight last night, which I watched as well. So
I actually didn't watch it. I was exhausted and I passed out. How was it? How do you like? Did you like it?
I mean, yeah, it wasn't that bad. Listen, man, Jake got a knockdown in the final round in round 8. And people were like, that won him the fight. But if you look at the scorecards, man, some judges had it like 6-2, and I think 2 judges had it 6-2, and one judge had it 6-4. No, 8 rounds, right? So
I
he
think
had
so.
it
Yeah.
5-3. You know, but for me, it was like even when going into the not even. I think I had Anderson 4-3 going into the 8th round, so Jake won uh, deservedly, in my opinion, because you get a 10-8 round, right, with the knockdown in the last round. But those scorecards were pretty off, in my opinion. But it was a lot closer than people were, or than the judges gave it credit to. But yeah, what can you say? I think Anderson brought the fight to Jake, and it was okay. It was late over here. I watched it because obviously I'm an Anderson Silva fan, like most MMA fans are, and I wanted to see how he did it. But it wasn't that bad. But I mean, take in consideration he's 47 years of age, and still goes 8 hard rounds against a much younger guy. I mean, okay, but yeah, it's not something I will watch again.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to catch it, but I asked you and our buddy Cole because I know he was really into it. Anyways, let's get into UFC Vegas 63, Marcel. We'll recap that. A lot to talk about from last night during this event. Tough night, man. I felt like it was a tough card to pick. I struggled on this one. Tried my
You didn't.
best, but you didn't do much better, right?
Nah.
It was a tough one. Let me count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh God, 4 and 7. Horrible. Bad night for me. Yeah, just a
Something
lot.
like that as well.
Yeah, it was rough. I mean, there was a lot of fights that the upsets I didn't see coming, and then the fights where I thought there would be an upset, they didn't happen. So like that's when you have that happen, it's just not a great night. I'll tell you though, Marcel, like for me personally, like I kept the play small, but fucking judges just killed me on Jacoby, dude. Like I'm lit. I'm like so angry, dude. Like I get it, guys. It's gambling. Like no one told me I had to bet on these fights, right? But fucking come on, like that. What a fucking joke. We'll talk about that fight in a few minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
Got a comment in the chat. What's up, all the main event injuries? I know I was tweeting about that last night. We've had like 3 or 4 now. Like you mentioned, Rakic, Ortega, obviously, Aspinall. Just a lot of injuries. And then last night, our Calvin Kattar. All that. Let's get into it, Marcel. Let's talk about that fight. I don't think there's a lot to say, to be honest with you. Like the first round was close. I guess Arnold won the first round, especially because the last minute, Calvin got injured. I mean, I really don't feel like the fight played out. I thought Allen looked good, but it was so short that like I can't be like, okay, he's clearly better than Calvin Kattar. The guy got injured during the fight, so I don't know. I just don't feel like there's a lot to take away. Like he's got 10 straight wins, but I still want to see more if that makes sense. Any thoughts on this one?
145 is complete fuckery right now. You got Volkanovski, who's going probably to lightweight. You have another guy, Jair, who beat Ortega after Ortega got injured. You got Allen, who beat Kattar after Kattar got injured, and you got Emmett, who beat Kattar in a fight I think Kattar won. So it's a complete fuckery.
Yep.
Holloway recently got his title shot, so um, Yeah, man. Like I tweeted, man, this is not a fun outcome for Kattar, obviously, but also not for Allen, because I feel like Allen needed that marquee fight in the division, against the a top contender, and he got the win behind his name, but it's not been seen as a legit win. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know what you can do with him. You maybe give him Emmett, you can give him Jair, one of the two. I don't mind, and or maybe Holloway. I don't know, but give him somebody in the top five. But no, no title shot yet, in my opinion. Um, and that sucks for Allen because I think he looked good in the first round. He won the first round. I think it was pretty even until that injury with Kattar. I still think Kattar or Allen was doing a little bit better, not a lot, but a little bit. And after that, it was over. And I think smart approach also from Allen by kicking the leg of Kattar in the beginning of the second round, and he kicked the other leg actually, but that's why he had to stand on that right leg, which was injured, and it fell through. So yeah, just a sucky main event, sucky ending, anticlimactic.
Sucks when
Yeah,
this happens. It really does.
yeah.
Let's get some comments here. What's up, Joe? How's it going? Chris London, what's up, Chris? Hey guys, rough night. Took a bath, but anyways, down 8 units. I mean, dude, it's not like I did much better. So I totally feel how you feel, man. What do you guys personally think of the fights to make at the top of 145? It's hard to say, right? Because with the Volk, we don't know what he's going to do. It looks like he's going to 155. We got Marcus in the chat. Marcus, what's up, man? I wish Volk would stay at 145, defend his belt, because Emmett, Yair, Allen are solid contenders. I don't see Volk beating Islam. Don't want to interim 145 champ. I don't disagree. That's the thing, Marcel. Like I get it. Like they're two of the top three guys in pound for pound, and they're two guys with the longest win streaks. There's a lot to like about that fight, but at the same time, like I don't feel like he's cleared the division out, Marcel. Volkanovski. Like I feel like there's a lot. Like he just mentioned 3-4 guys there. You know what I mean?
And
So
you know what the problem is, Adam? They did it before without Adesanya, when Adesanya just had one title defense. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So Volkanovski has more title defenses, has looked super dominant at 145. And let's be honest, 145 always will have solid contenders. So I have no problem with it. Him going to 155. Is he going to win against Makachev? Not very likely, in my opinion. But if he would have fought Oliveira, I would have given him a good chance. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I understand, but on the other hand, I don't think Emmett deserves a title shot. I don't think Jair deserves a title shot. I don't think Arnold Allen deserves a title shot. You know what I mean? So, and I know maybe Emmett has has the most has the best win of the three because he actually won not via injury from his opponent, but on the other hand, I don't think he beat Kattar. So it's like I said, it's a fuckery at 145,
yeah.
and I feel like mix Max Holloway in that shit as well. Do like Emmett against Jair, do Arnold Allen against Max Holloway, and you get at least, if you don't want to do Holloway again against Volkanovski, obviously you have a contender in the Emmett Jair fight, and if Arnold Allen wins, you have two contenders. So, and then Volkanovski can take that fight with Makachev. So, and if imagine Volkanovski wins against Makachev. I don't think so, but imagine he can maybe wants to stay at lightweight, and you can do a new title fight at 145. So a lot of options, but it just sucks that all these three top contender fights didn't pan out like we all hoped. I think so. Yeah,
I know, right? Like 2 injuries, and then one was like a really controversial decision. So,
yeah.
anyways, let's get into the next fight here. Split decision somehow, Max Griffin. I mean, I thought he clearly won the fight. He won the first 2 rounds. The third round, I think, means won the round, but too little, too late. I think it was a competitive fight, but Max clearly won. And like even when they're reading the scorecards, like they said 29-28 means, and he just like shook his
Yeah,
head, like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like that was Eric Cologne that scored that fight for him, 29-28. Just I think a bad scorecard. Anyone watching that fight could see that Max Griffin won. At least, like I said, the first 2 rounds. I don't know, Marcel. Like and we'll talk about the other fight because again, I'm fucking pissed about that fight, the Jacoby one. But at least the right guy won in this fight. I'll say that. Any quick thoughts on this fight?
yeah. Eric wrote that scorecard with his Cologne probably. I mean, so bad. I feel like first round clear to Max Griffin. He knocked him down early
Yeah,
in the round, and he pretty much he won the round. Second round, I think Tim means it very well in the second round. I think he was winning until 30 seconds before the rounds end. He gets a knockdown. He got knocked down by Max Griffin again. Um, it was such a close round that favored Max Griffin in that round. So 1-2 for Max Griffin. Third round, much more competitive. I think Means could have won that round. I gave it to him 29-28 Max Griffin, but it was clear as hell. You know what I mean? So And you saw Tim Means, yeah, absolute good guy. You saw in the when they announced his name on one of the scorecards, he was like, "No, this is bullshit." And I remember that with Josh Neer against Nate Diaz did that as well, and Paul Felder with
RDA.
RDA. Yeah,
He's just like
I
nope,
mean,
like nope.
yeah, it's just it's just stupid.
That's just fucking terrible when like the guy who loses the fight just like shakes his head and is like, "You fucking idiots!" Like
Yeah,
there's a serious issue with the judging, guys. We talk about it every fucking week on this podcast, like,
yeah, it's horrible, man.
and it's like they're like, "Oh, we brought in these new judges, right?" Well, these guys aren't
Mhm.
doing any better. Not, in fact, I think it's almost worse now. To be honest
Yeah.
with you, Marcel. Jacoby clear 28-28. It's fucking bullshit, dude. I completely agree with you. Don't worry, man. I'm bitter too about this one. Like this one hurt because I'm like, all right, he won. When they said split, I was like, all right, well, okay. I'm like, I don't think two of these people could be retarded, but two of them were. So
I love Keith Schillen's story about that fight, but we'll talk. I'll tell that when we are on that fight.
let's get to the next one quickly. Waldo Cortez Acosta defeats Jared Vandera. Unanimous decision. Honestly, like, I mean, I think this guy's good, but not the best performance in my opinion. Really by either guy. It was kind of a slower paced heavyweight fight. I think the boxing did more damage than the low kicks. The low kicks from Vandera were nasty. He won the second round with them, but the third round, I mean, he could have won the round because someone was asking about it. He could have, but I think Acosta took over and he won the round. So I think the scorecards were fine. 2-1 is a good score. First and third round. Second round, I think, goes to Vandera. By the way, he's 1-6 in the UFC. He's getting cut. There's no way in hell he gets another fight. Although, like, to be fair to Vandera, like he's been very active. Like since he started fighting the UFC last year, he's had 7 fights. So he's a guy they call up and he'll take a fight. But he's lost 5 straight fights. He's getting cut. And then for Cortez Acosta, Marcel just basically takes the guy's place in the roster. Contender series taking over contender series. I think the guy's good, but like it wasn't his best performance in my opinion. Any thoughts on this one?
Get these dreadful ass unranked heavyweights off the main card, dude. I mean, what was this for kind of fuckery?
Yeah.
I don't want to see that at 3 or 4 a.m. my time. First round, Cortez Acosta, he was just punching him with one punch the whole damn time, and Vandera was like moving, and then Vandera lands one thing and he's like making crazy faces or whatever. Idiotic fight, in my opinion. Even LFA would be ashamed to put that on. Shouldn't be on the UFC card, in my opinion. I'm sorry, man. And I know Waldo Cortez Acosta has been a talent, former LFA champion, a so-called big prospect. I didn't see it last night, man. I really didn't see it.
Same.
I think every heavyweight wants to fight this guy, right now. Yeah, what can we say? And he barely edged out that decision, dude.
It was
Because
so close.
if Vandera used more of his leg kicks in the third round, he would have won that round as well, Because the second round, he kicked him many times in the leg and that won him the second round. But
Yep.
nah, man, not a good fight at all. Shouldn't be in the UFC. And I hate to say it because probably both nice guys, but this is very low level fighting.
It's like an LFA fight. When you say Marcel, this one,
Even LFA would be ashamed to put that on, to be really honest. So.
It wasn't a good fight. It wasn't a good fight. Let's get some comments. Ben Carlin started being shit since working at Val. I actually agree with it. I mean, this guy was one of the better judges, like internationally. His scorecards have been all over the place since he came to Vegas. I don't understand what's going on. Text someone before the clue for the card would start to get weird. I mean, you had a good call on that, Daniel. What's up, man? Greet Adam. What's up, Joe? Sergio, what's up, man? What's up, guys? Thanks for the content. You're welcome, man. Glad to have you here in the chat, buddy. A lot of knee injuries this year. I know it might be overtrained, possibly, right? Like, I don't know if it like was something that happened in the fight. I know he did that crazy jump thing, but like, I'm guessing he was like injured heading into the fight, But I don't know for sure. Not sure if Adair gets cut. Man, he's 1-5 though. Or sorry, 1-6. He's on a 5-fight losing streak. Marcel 1-6. This is like Sam Alvey territory. I think he's getting cut, but he's right. $12,000, and he stands there and gets beat up. So maybe. Let's talk about Gore right now. We'll talk about it right now. Tristan Gore, I think, had one of the better performances of the night. Obviously, like Marcel, as the week went on, I started to think because I saw that interview with him talking about his mom and stuff that Dana White posted. You saw that thing, I'm sure. I was like, man, this guy's got a lot of motivation. Maybe he can win this fight. And also, like, the UFC invested a lot in him, right? I'm thinking to myself, why would they give him a fight he can't win again? So as the week went on, I started to think maybe he had a chance, and he did, and he won the fight. It was a close fight up until the choke, really. Framed it. I don't know how much UFC caliber he is either, to be honest with you, Marcel. Like, he's been taken down 11 times now in 2 UFC fights. Like the takedown defense is just pitiful. So I don't think he's really UFC caliber, because if you can't stop a takedown in the UFC, you're gonna have a hard time winning fights if you're not a grappler, right? Gore's choke was nasty as fuck. Like they're calling it a guillotine choke. It looked like a bulldog choke at first, and then he switched into a guillotine. It was nasty. One of the nastiest chokes of the year. Definitely deserved the 50K. Any quick thoughts on his performance? Because obviously needed this to save his job.
And the UFC is stupid gambling with these fights on the main card lately. First, with hoping that Cordes Acosta gets their first round knockout against Vandera, because let's be honest, that's why it was on the main card. And with this one, both guys, no wins in the UFC yet. 0-2 Tresean Gore against 0-1 Josh Friend, and they hope that one of the two went crazy and went for a finish. Pretty much that's why it's on the main card. And they were right with this one, because Gore did really good, in my opinion. Man, that choke was nasty. But what the hell? What was Fram trying to do, man? Getting out
I don't know.
really. So, yeah, good for Gore, man. He needed this one. He would have been probably cut if he lost this one. He was 0-2 in the UFC. Yeah, good one. And funny thing is, man, remember last time when we said when he had to fight Cody Brundage, we were like, he needs to keep this fight standing to win, and then he gets knocked out. And now we're pretty much just like, he probably needs to keep this fight standing to win. And he showed his BJJ skills, beautiful submission. Good for him, man. Hope he can develop into a good prospect, But yeah, first step is made, and good win, nice 50K, deserved 50K.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely deserved it. So that's what Titus. He said when he heard the Saudi
Yeah.
in the Bellator card, thought we'd have some good scorecards. I thought no, we didn't.
That Bellator card is also a fucking
there was some
disgusting decision.
fucking horrible decision on that. We'll talk about that one in a few minutes. Let's stick to UFC for now.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. You don't have to apologize. We're here to talk about MMA. I just want to get through this card, and then we'll do Bellator quickly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get to some other fights here. The next one. Okay, well, I mean, let's get to this fucking shit show. I'm fucking pissed, guys, honestly, because like I mean, listen, this one hurts for people that bet on Jacoby like myself. I also feel bad for him. I mean, like this fucks his whole like career up. You know what I mean? Like the guy had 4 straight wins. Had he won this fight, was definitely going to get a top 10 opponent, I would say. Then the judges take it away from him. I understand it was a competitive fight. He won the fight. He won the first 2 rounds. He outstruck him in the first 2 rounds. And the thing is, like, all 3 of the judges' scorecards were different. And one of the judges had it for the first round for Khalil, where he got outstruck 34-20. Like, the second round was more competitive. I still thought Jacoby won it. Third round, definitely, I think, even though Jacoby outstruck Roundtree in the third round, the damage was clearly Roundtree. So I think that round, for sure, Roundtree. But the first 2 rounds were just Jacoby's. This is fucked. This is fucking terrible. I'm pissed. I know you guys are pissed too, because I know a lot of us bet on Jacoby. That's just messed up, Marcel. I'm sitting there like, are you kidding me? Like, I've seen some bad decisions. This is one of the worst of the year, in my opinion. Like, there's like no one that scored this fight for Khalil Roundtree. This is an absolute travesty. Give me your thoughts. I'm angry about it.
This is like Jay Collier and Arlovsky almost. It's like, listen, man. This was a worse decision than Petr Yan against Sean O'Malley last week. But this doesn't get talked about a lot because it's not that high stakes of a fight, But if you look at Jacoby, takes a high risk, low reward fight, fights a knockout artist pretty much in Khalil Roundtree, fights a non-ranked guy. He is ranked, doesn't get a ranked opponent for the second time in a row. Fights, wins the first 2 rounds, lands much more, is much more technical. Khalil Roundtree only was throwing haymakers and missing a lot. Third round, he gets a lot of damage, actually, Jacoby. But people say, like, they score damage. Yeah, congrats. It's the third round. So Khalil wins the third round. Jacoby still wins 1 and 2, So it should be 29-28. The story that Keith told yesterday, he was like, after the fight, I was convinced Jacoby won. So I had to help my son with something. So when I came back into the room, he's like, I'm looking at my TV and I see Khalil Roundtree getting interviewed. And it's like, oh my God, is Khalil retiring? So, and then he's like, I'm going to Twitter and I see Khalil wins by split decision. It's like, how is this even possible? And for me, there is no reason you can give Khalil Roundtree round 1 or round 2, in my opinion.
Yep.
So it's a very bad decision. And like you said, it has a lot of consequences for Jacoby. He likely loses his ranking. to Khalil, which is completely undeserved. He
Ridiculous.
missing his win bonus, which he should have got, and let's be really honest, might have been the best fight of the night, and they didn't get the 50K bonus of fight of the night, in my opinion.
How did they not win fight of the night? Fight was fucking amazing.
Yeah, they gave four performance bonuses.
Yeah, but this was a beautiful fight. These guys deserved a bonus. It was a beautiful fight. Yeah.
So he got host everywhere, in my opinion. So very bad, and there should be done something. And Ben Cartlidge, I always gave him praise. I always say like he's the second best judge after Michael Bell. This is the second week in a row he has a very highly questionable scorecard.
Terrible scorecards.
I mean, I don't understand, man. It just sucks.
It's fucked up. It's just fucked up. Like it's not right, man. And like nothing fucking changes, guys. That's the thing. Like every week we talk about this. Like last week with Jan and this week with this fight. I thought the Jan fight was honestly a little bit closer than this. Everyone's up in arms about this. I think this is the fight to get up in arms about. How did he not win the first 2 rounds? He definitely won the first 2 rounds.
Like, and I got really annoyed by people who are then coming to Twitter and was like, yeah, but there was a chance. You see, listen, man, you can pretty much for every 10-9 scorecard, unless it's like a complete domination, but then it's 10-8 pretty much. You can give an argument for every 10-9 scorecard that one guy maybe did something in that round that was significant instead of the other guy. You know what I mean? So it's really annoying that people going like, yeah, but you could fuck off. Also, those. I understand the coaches for Khalil there, but when the scorecard got announced, they're like, "Yeah, man, Khalil, that's a win." I was like, "Shut the hell up," And I don't know if you heard the post fight interview.
Some fan was in the crowd saying, "Yo, that's a robbery. You got to get better judges or something." And he's like, "Shut up!" Like,
the final's right.
Listen, I'm going to say this to Khalil, like, and all these fighters. I thought Khalil, there's some fights that he probably should have won throughout his career by decision. You know what I mean, Marcel? So like. It's give and take in the sport, like as far as like the decisions, like they go forward and against you sometimes. But I just feel like, you look at Tim Means, Tim's like, no. He's just like, no. Like, there's no fucking way you can give me that scorecard. I would have liked to have seen Khalil a little bit more like, I honestly don't think I won. But at the same time, like, I don't blame him for being like, hey, the judges gave it to me. Like, it's not my fault. It isn't. You know what I mean, Marcel? I don't blame him at all. It's the fucking pitiful judges. These guys suck. Tired of them, man. They're fucking idiots.
I mean, it's honestly, it's kind of 50-50 what you say, man. These fighters is like, if they're on the wrong side of a decision, which they should have won, they are complaining about it, which they should. But if they're on the side of the decision they should have lost, but they get it, they don't say shit, So it's like, then you could also say like, yeah, I don't feel I won,
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I get it. I don't think you're wrong with anything you're saying. Let's some comments. Oh, we talked about Jake and Sola at the beginning of the podcast. If you want to listen to it, I didn't. I fell asleep. I was so tired, guys. Last night I was absolutely wiped out after that. That Jacoby robbery took years off my life, so I just wanted to go to bed after that. I honestly just wanted to go to bed. I was so angry, dude. You're saying you got caught chasing, but like he should have won the fight. I know you're mean though. You chasing. We both know it never pays off in the end. You might get lucky sometimes, but we both know that, unfortunately. Jacoby deserved a ranked opponent in first place. I agree with that. Joe, for sure. It was rounds 1 and 2. Glenn's talking about potential corruption. I mean, I don't think you're wrong with suggesting this at all. Like, I'm not convinced that – I'm not saying last night's decision in particular, but I'm not convinced in general, Marcel, there's not some corruption going on, that these guys aren't betting on the fights. I'm not convinced, honestly.
And listen, Adam – when Jacoby fought Griffin, I thought Griffin won that fight.
He should have. He dropped him twice, I believe, in that fight.
Yeah, so
I know you're saying though, like, the give and take, right?
Yeah, but I'm always honest with these kind of things, But for me, it's not like because he should have lost Griffin and he won. He should. It's okay that he lost here. No, he should have won here. You know what I mean? So
yeah. No, I'm with you. Marcel. He should. You're right, but like you said, give and take. One judge gave Means the fight horrible, just horrible. Jacoby, he's 35. I mean, this was a big fight for him. He needed to get this win. I hope the matchmakers don't punish him for this. Like,
they should still give him a ranked opponent.
With Calvin, right? Like, he got Allen, right? Even though he lost on paper to Emmett, it was a close fight. You've got to get used to robbery every week. Sucks. Judges don't like getting a fight first 2 rounds unless their dominance pathetic. I agree with this too. It's he's not wrong. Like we talk about this all the time, Marcel. Like they'll be like, yeah, well, it was kind of close. It's like even, and let them figure out in the third round. Like fuck off.
Yeah, that's
Every
annoying.
round is its own fight. That's in my. I think that's the way it should be scored. Every round is a 10-9 round, right?
Yeah.
Or 10-8 or whatever. 10-point must system every round. The previous round shouldn't even come into play, or the future round.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be thinking about that.
Yeah,
know?
The judges just want to be cute. They're
They want
like,
to be cute,
oh,
and they want to make it easier for them
yeah.
too. They want to be, and the worst thing is, Marcel, again, this fight, it wasn't like you said, no one like got knocked down like 3 or 4 times and then lost the round. Where like they're going to be in trouble with their bosses and the commission. They're not even going to talk to these guys. They're not even going to get in trouble about this. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, oh, well, it was close and I saw it this way. They're going to be like, okay, no worries. But like I said, the numbers all show that Jacoby won the fight. We all watched the fight, guys. We all saw the fucking fight. Ugh, so angry. After 10, if you went to the Apex, those things that the judges have to fight. I think the judges use the TV and judge fight. Sometimes they use a lock. They do have a TV, Marcus.
I really wonder that, Adam, because you always say that, but I never see a TV. You're 100% sure?
Yeah. They're right in front of them, Marcel. They just sometimes like Dana White looks at his TV, but the judges, they usually like are like this.
Yeah, but Dana White really has a TV in front of him.
They have them for sure.
I never seen it with judges, dude. To be really
Googling
honest.
it again. Remember we Googled it a few weeks ago. Maybe Google it again. Nevada judges monitors. Just like, dude, they've had monitors approved since 2011, Marcel. 2011.
They never use them, even if they're in front of him.
If they're not using them, then that's their fault. I'm reading an article from 2011. It's crazy. Like, look at this. Nevada Commission approves monitors for judges with a 5-0 vote. Barakamoto tweeted a picture of the monitors. This is like UFC on Versus, Marcel. That's when it started. Like that long ago, bro.
Okay.
Supposed to, yeah, they should be using them. Laura Sanko confirmed that. See, they do, Marcel. They have them. They have them. They just refuse to use them. These guys are fucking morons. Okay. I just can't imagine having my career like basically being determined by these fucking bozos every week.
Adam, I think if you have the right, or you can use the how do you say that, the video. I mean, you're cage side, so you can hear the impact. So actually, you should watch the video and listen to the impact. In my opinion, that would be much better. Instead of like you see, I should have picked her, but I pick her. Adelaide Bird. You see her sometimes. She's like, she's I don't see. Let me see there. Yeah. Oh no, I can't see that. Let me see it. It's like so stupid.
She's got like I got bad eyes. Like she's got the thickest pair of glasses I've ever seen.
Yeah,
be honest with you. Like I just wonder. Anyways, she's honestly not even the worst judge right now. Like there's worse ones. Like we always use her as an example because she's had some horrible decisions, but like
she's not the worst. No,
I gotta be honest with you, Marcel. Your boy from England's really bad right now. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, the last 2 cards are it's just like how's this guy going to defend these scorecards really? Like, but again, I don't think the commission even gives a shit that much, and they should. But all right, let's go to the next fight here. I'm just really angry with this fight. As you guys could tell, like it's just bad. Anyways, let's get to this one. Honestly, I thought this could happen. Deletes knocks out Phil Hawes. I didn't expect the injury to happen. He also we talk about injuries. He got injured too, Phil Hawes, right? I'm not surprised that Deletes won though. He's a very powerful guy. I mean, that block over Kyle Dawkins and now over Hawes, like the guy's got power. There's no doubt about it. So he gets a bonus for this one. I don't know if I would have given him a bonus because his opponent was injured. Like you could say like the knee bar might have injured him. It's possible, but like for me, like I got to be honest with like I think that the Lima should have got a bonus over him personally because what he did to Arlovsky, like not really many people do that to Arlovsky anymore. Like just to run through him like that. Anyways, Deletes looked good. There's no doubt about it. Hawes, Marcel, just again, brutally knocked out. I just feel like the ref should have saved him. The ref should have stopped this fight, guys, or the corner. Your boy Henry Hooft, Marcel. Your fighter clearly has an injury. Throw the towel in. Like, live to fight another day, guys. I'm just shocked, Marcel, about these fucking judges. Like,
Adam,
what?
As long as they are on win money, they're not going to throw in a towel.
That's true. That is fucking true. You're right about that because the financial implications. you're right. Like the fighter's always going to be like, "Hey, I had a chance to win, and you screwed me out of my win." But I'm just saying, this dude, he was clearly injured, guys. Like he's compromised. It was like Nick Maximov. Remember Nick? That fight
Yeah,
was the
I agree.
betting line during the live fight was minus 20,000. Like there was no chance he could win with an injury like that, right? And I just feel like these judges, not the judges, excuse me, I blame them for everything. The coaches and the corner and the ref too. They're there to save the fighter.
It's like, you saw like Haas was injured on his I think his left leg it was, and I was like, oh, nice from Dolitze. He's not kicking him. I would have kicked immediately. I'm nasty fuck if it comes to that. You're injured, you're
Yep.
fucked. And
Yep.
it's like, oh, nice of it. He's not kicking. Then he gives him a 3-punch combination and he starches him completely, dude. I was like, you should have kicked him. It's like, this is even worse,
That's funny.
But that was a beautiful knockout, man. I think I
Yeah.
agree with you that he was compromised and he was injured, but I think that knockout deserved a bonus, man. That was such a beautiful combination, and he completely knocked him out. So it was the most beautiful knockout of the night, I think. So yeah, good win for Dolitze.
Yeah, he's honestly better than we've said. He's 5-1 in the UFC. It's a good record. Honestly, the odds were off. Like it should have been like a pick'em fight.
Yeah.
Phil Haas shouldn't have been like minus 175. I was looking at it last night, and I was like looking at this fight. I'm like, man, do I even want to touch it? But I swear to God, guys, I was so close to just putting a few bucks on him on Dolitze by knockout. It was plus 450. I was looking at like with 5 minutes to go until the fight. I'm just like, I don't even want to touch this shit. And then, of course, that's what happened. So it is what it is. That happens. Let's get some comments. The knee bar did pop the knee. Yeah, I think so too. The judges get strike stats during the fight, not in MMA. I think maybe in boxing they do. Maybe I'm not 100% sure. In MMA, they definitely don't. Pause is chinny. He is chinny. He is. Corey's not throwing towel when fighters on one leg drives me mad. It's horrible. And it should be a flat rate. I agree with that too, Glenn. Maybe he thought Dolitze would pull a Sukutai, take down his opponent with her leg. Yeah. That was the worst fight IQ of all time, right? Against O'Malley. Fight beat Paul's corner stop the fight. First job to protect the fighter. It's true. What's Dolitze's ceiling? Can he make the top 15? Yeah. He's got to be close to the top 15 now, right? He just knocked out Phil Haas and Kyle Dawkins. Those guys were like basically like what 20 in the 20 to 30 range. So I think Dolitze right now probably gets the top 15 opponent. I think you'd agree with me on that. I think the winner with this fight was going to get one. What do you think of the difference in size? Yeah, I mean, Dolitze is a big dude. There's no doubt. Like he used to fight at light heavyweight. I want to say, Marcel.
Yeah,
right?
He did.
Yeah,
he made his debut in light heavyweight.
Against that Cadiz Ibragimov guy. That guy was that scrub. He was 0-4 in the UFC. That guy was one of the worst. Remember him? You even said that.
Yeah, he was an M1 champion, man. He was good at M1 in the UFC.
That's shocking. That is freaking shocking. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We had Marcus Rogero defeats Andre Arlovski. I thought this would be a competitive fight, and it wasn't. It was just complete one-way traffic. Knocks him down, chokes him out. Great win for DeLima. I was thinking all week, I'm like, why is this betting line so high? But now we see why.
Bro.
Go ahead.
Andre Arlovski got knocked down by a breast shot. Not by a chin shot, not by a breast shot. He got hit here, and he got knocked down,
let me jump in. That was the first time he's been knocked down 3 years. Can you believe that?
It's crazy. But also, you saw how quickly he tapped with the rear naked choke, man. I was like, I had the feeling like he was out of it, He was like, no, not tonight for some reason. I don't know. But, I mean, Marcos Rogério de Lima might have one of the worst ground kicks in the heavyweight division for Brazilian, and he tapped Andre Arlovski. I was surprised, really surprised with that. I was like, or Arlovski's winning a decision, or de Lima might knock him out, but I was kind of sure of a decision for Arlovski. But Arlovski was never there, man. So yeah, good win for de Lima. Probably his biggest win in the UFC, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it was. I think so too. Morale versus Dolitze. Actually, that fight would be good. I think that would be a good fight. Arlovski guaranteed near 4. I don't know if it's 400K, but he's guaranteed a lot. You start weighing his fighters 30 days out, 7 days out, use percentages maybe. Calls Andre a quitter. I mean, it kind of reminded me of the Aspinall fight. He got his neck tapped out quick. Like he just didn't want to be in there anymore. By the way, did you see Christoph Jocko got released? Is that true?
I saw that on the roster watch, but that also can mean that his contract was right? So you never know for sure.
Yeah.
I know Askarov is released.
Did he get released? Oh, they gave it to him?
He asked for it and they got it. They gave it to him. So yeah.
Well, I mean, the guy can't make weight, Marcel. Like they can't use him, right? He has to fight at 135, I think.
No, he says he has health problems and he wants to
Well,
solve them first before
I'm
going back
sure
into.
weight cutting had a lot to do with that too, Marcel.
Yeah, of course.
Unfortunately, right? These guys are going to kill themselves for this. Jungyoung Park defeats Joseph Holmes. I don't even know why they made this fight. I was so confused why they made. This is like the only picks I got right on the prelims. But like, I just didn't get it. Like, Joseph Holmes couldn't even beat Jamie Pickett. Like, and then he fights a much better fighter in Jungyoung Park. Good win for Park. Gets his first UFC finish. Great win for him. I mean, he could have got a bonus too. I thought he looked great in this fight personally, but they chose not to give a few guys bonuses. But any thoughts on this one quickly, Jungyoung Park?
Yeah, man. I mean, first round I think was kind of equal. Only Holmes was maybe a little bit better in the first round, but once Park got it to the ground, he dominated there. And he finished Holmes. Good win for him. I hope he gets that Korea fight in February, which he wants. That would be good. So yeah, good win for Park. Finally, his first finish in the UFC, I think. So yeah, good.
Yep, no, I agree with that. Next fight. Oh man, I didn't see this one coming either. Steve Garcia just absolutely fucks up Chase Super. I'm just gonna say it like it is. 3 knockdowns officially in a minute and 32 seconds. Just didn't stop pouring on the pressure. Just constant volume and power. Chase Hooper's striking defense is just so bad, Marcel. Like he can't string 2 wins together. I'm sad that I was so confident in winning this fight because I thought after Garcia gets destroyed his last fight, I'm like the UFC's feeding him to this guy. It was the other way around.
They probably did.
Well, they probably thought that, but my God. And Garcia, he saved his job, I would say, with this fight, probably, right? He's 2-2 now. He gets a bonus. 100% they're going to re-sign him, obviously. They gave him a bonus. They're going to bring him back. This is a big win for him. I got to be honest, Marcel. When I saw him on the scale, he looked so bad in the scale the other day. Like, it was obviously a big weight cut for this guy to make 145. But he replenished himself the right way, came out there like a bat out of hell and just fucked Chase Hooper up, man. Wow. Unreal. Give me your thoughts on this one. This was insane.
Bro, what is the thing with ground fighters who really not that good in striking? When they get tagged, they're gonna do spinning back fist. I mean, so weird. And Chase Hooper, he was like, I'm gonna bite down on my mouthpiece and I'm gonna go forward, and I'm throwing a few punches, and he got like 3 times harder. He got them back. Yeah, just a bad performance by Chase Hooper, man. And the thing is with Chase Hooper, I thought in this last fight he looked improved, but in this fight, completely nothing. So I'm really wondering if this guy should be in the UFC right now. I think he's talented, but I think he should get more of a developing in another promotion, maybe in LFA or whatever, and then come back to the UFC. I think he's still young. He still can improve a lot. And this shows because Steve Garcia isn't like the high end of the division. You know what I mean? So, yeah, didn't look good at all. But Steve Garcia, great win, great bonus, well deserved. Yeah.
Yeah, he deserved the bonus for sure. He looked amazing in this fight. But again, I just think Chase Hooper's striking defense is so bad. Cody Durden defeats Carlos Moda. Short notice debut for Moda. Durden did what he had to do with the wrestling. Third round was I think that he lost the third round. And honestly, good for him because man, there's a lot of submission attempts that were pretty like nasty, Marcel, with the arm bars and triangles and stuff. Like Moda is going to be a good fighter. He's going to win fights at the UFC, but the situation was tough for him. And then just in the first fight, we'll talk about that one quickly because it was also short notice. Christian Rodriguez submits Josh Weems. Josh Weems misses weight, gets tapped out in about 4 minutes. Don't really think he's UFC caliber fighter, to be honest with you, Marcel. I don't think he'll last long in the octagon. And I also feel like his manager, I think it's Jason House. Jason's obviously he's a good manager, but I just think because it was like 6 days notice, they really should have pushed for a catch weight for him and been like, you can't make 135, guys. Like it's 1 week's notice. Because the guy, Marcel, how much is he getting paid? He's probably on 10-10 or 12-12. He lost 30% of his purse. That's a lot of money for a guy. He lost 4,000, right? Or something. Yeah, I think about that. I just think they should have fought for a catch weight. They've been like, and what's Rodriguez going to say? He has to stay in the card, so he's going to say yes. They should have fought for a catch weight. That's what I'm going to say. Go ahead.
Adam, the thing is like, by the way, I had 30-27 for Durden against a Moda fight.
You didn't think the third round though, maybe with the like submission attempts and everything?
No, I still gave it to Durden. I think he was dominant.
Fair.
Yeah, the Weems one. The thing is, maybe they asked for a catch weight, and maybe the other side didn't want it to. You never know. So, and the thing is, why not taking this gamble? You get the fight, you can still win. But you're in the UFC at least. And Weems tried to be for a long time to be in the UFC, didn't find the way in the Contender Series against Fernie Garcia. But now he's in the UFC and he gets a full camp for his next fight probably. So Yeah, good win for Rodriguez. He had a nice reversal there where he got the anaconda choke, where he got the win, and he also got a bonus. So good for him. First fight of the card gets a bonus. Doesn't happen often. So yeah, I was happy for Rodriguez. I think he's talented. Remember, he struggled with his weight on the Contender Series. Didn't get signed because of that. Then got signed on short notice for Pierce. Won at 145. Now he's back at 135. Made weight and got the win. So good for him, man. Looking forward what's next. I think he's a talented guy.
I agree with that. Let's get some last couple comments here. Chase Hooper is really bad for his son. But I think Chase Hooper is UFC caliber. He's won fights in the UFC, so I guess he is, but he's like at the bottom of the division. He's not getting. I thought he was getting. Okay, I shouldn't say that because I honestly thought he was getting better after the last fight because I thought he looked
Me
great
too.
against Claire's, but he looked so much worse. To be fair, though, he didn't get a chance to take the fight to the ground, where obviously his dominance lies. His striking Marcel's bad. It's just bad. And it's not getting better. I thought training with Wonder Boy would help him, but it looked even worse than ever. Guy looked awful. Can't believe it. Anyways, any last thoughts on this card on UFC Vegas 63, or that's it for you?
Not a great card in my opinion.
Yeah,
Definitely not the main card. Wasn't great.
wasn't a great card. Bad judging. It was just a fucked up night. Honestly, injury in the main event. And then even the best fight of the night doesn't get the fight night award. It's just fucked. All right, let's get to Bellator 287. We'll recap that quickly, guys, and then we'll do another podcast with the UFC 264 preview. Let's go to the Bellator quickly, Marcel. I watched the main card. Didn't really get a chance to watch all the prelims, but I did get a chance to watch the main card. We had Mansour. You called this, Marcel. You were right about this guy. Mansour Barnaoui submits Adam Piccolotti. I mean, the fight wasn't even close. The guy just dominated him on the ground. Did the UFC fuck up not signing this guy? Why did no big
Yes.
promotion sign this guy? Where was he the last 3 years? Tell me.
Road FC, winning the $1 million. Yeah, and then he didn't fought. I don't know why, but yeah, I also expected the UFC to come over, but they didn't. And Bellator got him. Good for Bellator, you know. He's a good fighter, and he showed it in his debut main event in Europe against Piccolotti. Piccolotti, not a top name, but at least an established name in Bellator, you know. And he defeated him without too much problems. So yeah, good win for Mansour Barnaoui.
You look great. Like this guy looks legit as fuck, guys. Honestly, he really looks good. Next fight here we had Fabian Edwards just pretty much dominates Charlie Ward. I mean, no surprise there.
But
What
um,
didn't finish him?
I'm disappointed he didn't finish him because I think Fabian Edwards should always finish
He
Charlie
should,
Ward.
but Charlie was doing a good job of staying in his guard, and the fight was mostly on the ground, and he's the guy that gets knocked out. Anyways, yeah, you're right. He should have knocked him out. Really, he should have, but he dominated on the ground. Tim Wilde defeats Sal Rogers. Rogers can't get a win. This fight was close. It was really competitive, but I think the judges got it right. And then Justin Gonzalez looked great. Marcel gets a win. Let's go quickly to the prelims. I'll go through them quickly, guys. Just some notable fights. Your boy Davey Guyon, he lost as a favorite. Your boy Costello Vancinas won. Alfie Davis picked up an upset over T-Ball Guti, former UFC fighter. One of the worst decisions of the day, I guess. I mean, there's bad one every week. So this Manuel Marconetto clearly beat Chiara Penso. The fight wasn't even close. She won every round. Fucking horrible scorecards. Just disgusting scorecards in that fight. East Lando looked good. Salman Biong looked good. Luke Trainer looked good. This guy, Saf Zardon Kamadov, he looked great. Quick knockout. Honestly, there were some good finishes in the card, but again, the judging was kind of fucked on this card too. Any thoughts on this one? Any of the fights, really?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk obviously about Costello Vancinas. You know, I hadn't fought for 2 years. Dutch guy from Team Musashi. Looked really good against Chuk, who is making his debut. But I think Bellator kind of disrespectful to Vancinas, man. I mean, he fought in the last 2 fights were 2 main events. You know, I know they put him on the prelims. Defeat Chuk with a Doris choke, beautiful win. After that, he called out Johnny Ablin, you know, but probably not gonna happen. But he was like top 3 or top 4 in Bellator before they kicked him out of the rankings because of how do you say that, inactivity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, Vancinas said as well, man. Like I didn't get a fight offered, so well, what can I do, right? So he was happy to be back. Yeah, that's what we see. Maybe against Tokov would be fun. Yeah, Bijong did good, like expected, and Yeah, were some good fights, and like you said, man, Chiara Panko fight against Marcel, what's his her name, Marcelato or
Marcaretto
whatever.
or something? Yeah.
Yeah, bad scorecard, dude. But
Fucking
sometimes
pathetic.
I feel like at Bellator these judges, let's don't say it. What I want to say,
Say it.
they want the hotter fighter to win if it's close. That's what they want. Sometimes that's what I feel. I mean, that I always had that with Valerie Loreda as well. So yeah, whatever.
Didn't she lose a decision though? She lost.
Yeah,
to,
against Hannah Guy, but that
yeah.
that also split, which should have been unanimous. So I mean,
Okay, fair enough. That's true. One of them tried their best to get it to her. You guys think Fabian Edwards versus Aaron Jeffries for the next 185-pound title shot? I think Fabian just deserves it now, probably. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Costello again though in the rematch. Because he beat him, right, Costello, and he was out for 2 years. He was out, so I think it'd be interesting. All right, that's it for the recap for this week's card, guys. We're gonna go do another podcast right now, previewing UFC Vegas 64. So join us there. Marcel, quickly plug yourself. We'll start the next show.
Big Marcel 24 on Twitter and Instagram, and it's still the articles are on Eurosport.nl mixed martial arts section.
Nice. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Adam Martin Podcast, MMAOddsbreaker.com, bookies.com for my best bets, Miami News for your MMA News, and MMAOddsbreaker.com for your latest in MMA odds. Well, we're going to start another podcast in a minute here, guys, for UFC Vegas 64. So bear with us and join us in a second. Peace.